3 months before I like experienced what I experienced, I actually got in a really bad car accident. And I got like hit on the side of my car, and it was a really spiritual experience, let me tell you.
Mm.
Like the day of I had just come back from a trip, so I was at my boyfriend's, and he got me a ride to my parents' house because that's where my car was. And that day he's like paid for it, and I went and I did the thing, and I was in the car, and it was just like a really interesting contrast of like a person. Like this man, he was listening to Jesus music, and I was like, I just came back from Mount Shasta, which is like my favorite place to visit. I've been 4 times. It's my place to
Mm.
like to
Mm.
connect. And I was on my way back, and it was just such a contrast of listening to all this Jesus music in the car. And I am totally pro like the consciousness of Jesus. Like I feel it, I understand, and I'm like so there for that. So, and also I'm very accepting of other people's and their spiritual experiences.
Totally. Yeah.
It was interesting because he did have a turban on, so it just was such a contrast, and
Mm.
I loved it. I was like, I am all for this. So we're driving along, and like, I get to my mom's place, and I say hello, and I'm in a weird funk. And so I decide to go out for a walk in the woods, and I'm connecting with myself, and I know that I have a lot of things going on that day. I know I'm going to go on I need to get going with my car. It's back to the mainstream
Yeah.
world, back to the grind. I'm all creative, and I just got to go for it. I'm going to go. And so, um, I'm out in the woods, and I'm doing this time with myself, and I'm like yelling to the trees like, "Hey, I love you. I love you." And like, I'm just having this because I've learned this, and it makes my heart feel super open. And
Mm.
I'm walking back to my parents' house, and um I see all this smoke, and there's like a fire alarm going off. and I'm like, what is going on? And so I go into my house, and my mom, she sensed something with me, and she decided to light a bunch of like sweetgrass.
Mm.
Mm.
And it just, she said it just took off. And it was just all like smoky in there, and the fire alarm was going. And I was like, oh, and I wasn't conscious, in all honesty. I really was not in a conscious state of like, maybe this is something going on. Like maybe there's something here.
Mm.
So she all of a sudden was like, can I sage you? And like, she does not do that. That's not a normal thing for my mom to say. So I was like, yeah. I was like, kind of like in a begrudging. I wasn't happy to be back home. I really hadn't like done any transitions between being back to like mainstream grind. I hadn't really done that. So I was kind of like bitter towards everything. And so she cleanses me, and I go off on my way, and I do all the things that we do in a day. And at the end of the day, I was like down in like Bell Red Road, and I turned left on a sign that was like basically yellow, but it started to be blinking. And
Mm.
I just like something happened, and it was all my fault. And I got
Mm.
hit like in the side of me in the
Mm.
middle of this intersection. And like I had a 2003 Subaru Forester, like my baby. It's been with me my whole entire life, like my pretty much a lot of my life. And she's like, all these things are coming out from underneath her, and this like woman, like she jumps out of her car, and she like takes me, and she's like just the sweetest. Like she's wearing like a green it's like it's like a green Siri.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean, and she jumps out of her car, she takes me and like backs me up and sits me down on a rock and starts to hold me.
Wow.
Oh.
And her husband at one point was like, "We gotta go," and like it was like this like angel just like comes out of nowhere. And then this other man, he told me his name was Chris, and he had these incredible blue eyes. And he just like came up to me in the middle of the intersection and was like, "Hey, I don't know what happened. I didn't see anything, but I am so glad you are here."
Wow.
Oh.
And yeah, and I was like, and it was just this incredible, like, it was just this incredible moment. I was not hurt. I lost my car. That was really sad, but it wasn't, that was that. And I had my life. So I was so, I was really happy about it, but I wasn't still landing with like understanding like how much this life is such a gift and like how much like it's really like here for me to experience.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of still, like in some feels about things. So that happens. So then I decide I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get a big girl job. And like I need to have insurance because I need to pay for my car.
Mhm.
So so I went and got a job and this place I worked at, like super good place, wonderful, but not for me, right? Like it was just because I needed money. And I'm an artist and like I'm creative and like I have a lot of ideas and I'm kind of like I think a little differently so yeah, it wasn't the right environment for me, but I don't think I would have I kind of got into a little bit of a place where it's like, is this the right place for me? I'm gonna stick through it. I'm gonna do my best. I don't really ever quit jobs or anything like that. So I was just like,
Waiting to get
I'm gonna
fired.
I'm gonna do this. What'd you say?
Maybe waiting to get fired.
Yeah, I've never been fired. I'm like not that. I'm just like I'm not like that. I'm like loyal to a fault,
Yeah.
basically. So anyway, so I started working in this in this hairdresser salon. Not the best fit for me. Like just
Mm.
really not the best fit for me, but I love beauty and I love to be around beauty. So for me that I was like, okay, I can see myself being in this environment and there was like abilities to be able to go travel. So I was like, okay, I can see this. And so I was working and it was around Christmas time and I was having my cycle. I was having my period and it was kind of acting weird. And
Mm.
I was like, and I told because my dad, he is my healer, like he's my acupuncturist, he's like my naturopath, he's not a naturopath, but he's like the person I talk about with like all of my hormonal changes and all that stuff going on. At that time, that's what he was for me. And like I told him that this had happened, and because he's a traditional Chinese doctor, he does medicine, and
Mhm.
so I had mentioned that it was kind of a weird thing that had happened. And he wasn't really sure, he wasn't really sure. I wasn't really, I was kind of a little bit really separated from my health journey. Like
Mm.
I didn't really have anyone else to talk to. I wasn't really like, I didn't have a nature path strong relationship at that point. And so anyway, so he was just like, we should just like, let's just look at this, like monitor it, keep it in track and stuff like that. And my mom was the same way. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So
What was it that was strange about this cycle versus other ones in the past? Like what was it that was like, holy shit, I got to talk to dad about this?
Mm.
yeah, it was something like some like it was something came out like
Like
of
discharge was different. It
yeah, it
was
wasn't that.
okay.
It was like
Clotting.
it was like fibrous.
Okay.
Mm.
So it was like it was kind of like thick fibrous. And
You
it
mean
was
like with your bleeding?
with my bleeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Gotcha.
And then so yeah, so then I started having really heavy periods.
Hmm.
Like it like big big blood splats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And was this more
Yeah.
frequently?
More frequently that would happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was the day after Christmas, December 26th, and my mom's birthday. And I was my guy was like, Jordan, you need to go to the ER. Like you are like, these are these are not normal. Like I was like, like it was big blood splats like that were happening. And
Yeah.
like it was hitting the ground and it was like, I mean, it was like big, like
Considerable. Yeah.
yeah. And so I had to call my mom and my dad up and I was like, because my boyfriend it was really stressful. And like, he actually needed to like, he hurt his back. Like, it was like, he was in pain. And so I was like, that's okay. Like I got my mom, my pa, and like, we got this together. So, um, I call my mom. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. And so we go to the ER, and turns out that the ER is very busy the day after Christmas. I
Yeah.
don't think everybody sees grandma, and it's like, grandma's not looking good. That's
Yeah.
what they told us. So gotta take her to the ER. So anyways, so that was that. And so we were in there for 12 hours. And they did not diagnose me, which actually I'm really grateful they did not, because it was not where I wanted to end up being. They did great. They were fine. I was over, should I say their names or does it matter?
It doesn't
Like,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I was over like, I think they did a great job. And, but I didn't want to get treatment from that. It wasn't part of this journey,
Wasn't
and
supposed to be. Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be. So, I ended up losing about 40% of my blood.
Wow.
Yeah, they stopped it and I got to go home. I got to go home that night, which was really, really nice for me. And, but they didn't diagnose me. They thought that I had fibroids. And it was a really weird system, I will say, like where like a bunch of women were around me. They didn't actually have a place for me to like put my legs up in stirrups or anything like that. It was like they were not prepared.
Yeah.
And then there was like, it was weird because there was like a big doctor that like my nurse like had to talk to. And you could tell she was really frustrated by the situation because I wasn't really getting all the attention that I probably really needed.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's okay though. So I go home and my mom's like, "Well, we need to go into the nature path. Like we need to make sure you're okay. We need to have some like let's go that direction." Because I come from an Eastern medicine background and so like that makes sense for me to do. So we make an appointment and she's the one that told me, she's like, "You lost a lot of blood." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That makes sense." And she's like, so we started on our journey there and she did some infusion, they're called like vitamin drips.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
did some
infusion.
B12 vitamin drips. What'd you say?
Those can be infusions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got some of those. I got a couple of those done. And she said that she would like me to go to go get a pap test, and then come back and see her. Okay. So so I needed to recover from what had happened. I wasn't sure if I had any exams, if I would start bleeding again and not be able to stop. At this point, I don't know really what's going on.
Yeah.
They had thrown around the word fibroids.
Right.
So that was like what I was maybe thinking was going on. And also my parents were like, "Okay, let's go get you some herbs." So we went to our a doctor that basically makes like a bunch of herbs, and Dr. Wong.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's absolutely incredible. And he
Dispensary.
made, huh?
The dispensary.
Yeah, yeah, in Lake City. Yeah. So I went there. He checked me out, looked at my eyes, all of that good stuff. And like he was like, he made me stuff. And it actually I think it really helped because it thickened my blood. It helped me with thickening my blood. So I went and we were doing that. And I went and made an appointment to go to like Planned Parenthood. Because they are incredible, honestly.
Yeah. Pro
They are like
Planned Parenthood
seriously,
here.
huh?
I said pro Planned Parenthood here.
Oh my goodness. They like saved my life. So I went in there and I swear this lady that works there, she looked so much like Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus. She was just like perfect for me. Like she had the cutest little outfit on and I mean, now looking back at it, I understand. But at the time, she was like, very nervous to give me this test, this
Yeah.
pap, like to give me an exam because she knows like maybe something would happen. So she does it. It happens. It's really intense,
Mm.
and I'm over
What was
in
intense about it? Was it intense like receiving it? Was it intense like from the test that she gave you?
I started bleeding
Okay.
profusely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. I didn't actually have any pain.
Mm.
No, nothing ever caused me any pain.
Were you
So,
fatigued from all the blood loss?
oh, fatigue for sure.
Yeah.
Fatigue, yes. But like pain, physical pain, the doctors always ask and the nurses always ask. And it was like, I'd never had any pain, but I've experienced lots of levels of fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. So they were like, you need to go to UW. You know, we are not really super Western medicine. Like, I really don't have a lot of, at that point, I really don't have a lot of experience. My mom is like, she's like, she understands that something's going on. And she's getting kind of like, it was so funny because she got kind of like defensive,
Mm,
because it's like, you get kind of mad. You're like, no, do I really have to go through that system?
right.
Ugh. What?
Yeah, I was agreeing with you. Like I have those experiences as well. Like I respect it. I respect what it offers people, and it's not my first choice, and I always have a little bit of resistance when I'm pointed in that direction. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, we ended up going and, the I had to stay overnight. They decided that in the morning, they weren't sure exactly. I had amazing nurses take care of me, like, and just said such sweet things to me,
Mm.
like, never ever said like that I had cancer or never put any fears on me. They just held the space.
Yeah.
And like for me to just like, obviously it's like really incredibly emotional. And like also like at that point, it's just like, what is going on with me? Like, what is happening, And they just incredibly held the space for me at UW. And
So up in that, had anybody said the word cancer to you to that point, or was it all still just
no,
like figuring it out? And we're just so that's great. So they didn't even speculate, right? It's just
they
like,
didn't
oh,
even
it might be
speculate.
this, sweetheart, but it's just like, nope, hey, cool, we got you, container, you're
Yeah.
kept,
Yep.
you're held.
I feel
Yep.
like every
Beautiful.
experience that I've had too, and this is a huge statement, and there may be people that feel differently, but every time I've been at UW, it's been phenomenal care.
I'm
Like
so
their
happy for you to hear
staff
that.
has been, and
Yeah.
most oftentimes we know this, it's the nurses.
Every time
Yeah.
it's been a nurse, 100% for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're incredible. And so we stay the night, all throughout the night, they come in and they check my blood. We have what is it, phlebotomist.
Yeah.
These like adorable human beings come into my room in the middle of the night every 2 hours and check my blood. They put me in the baby unit. Like, so it was a
Oh,
really happy unit.
Oh.
My mama, she slept on the, oh my gosh, she slept at the window, like on like where they like, you can sit there and like look out the window and read a book or whatever. She slept on that. I gave her I had a huge, like I call it my magic black coat, and I gave it to her and she like slept with that, and like she stayed with me all night long. And I woke up in the morning and it was like, I think I went into surgery around like 6 o'clock. I did a little sitting down yoga. I was like,
mm-hmm.
okay, like we gotta get in this body. This is gonna be intense. And I met the guy that he was like a race car driver guy, like who took me into the surgery room. He's like, I've had cancer. I've had prostate cancer 4 times. You're gonna be fine. And I'm like, and I was like, okay, and at this point I still didn't know anything, but I was listening.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who gave me the anesthesia, like just really good people. Like
Yeah.
just really, really there for me. And I thought I had a fibroid at that point, and I think my mom did too.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up from they call it a surgery, but it was basically like they just went in there to see what they could do. And it turned when I came out of it, this really sweet woman, doctor, she was like, I'm sorry, like you have cancer. And to be honest with you, like I was just getting off as anesthesia. So it was like, I'm okay. Like, okay, let's go. What's next? Like, I'm ready. Let's go. Like,
Yeah.
like it wasn't anything that really, it wasn't a really big deal to me, and I'm just being really honest about that. Like, it was just like, it was kind of at a point already where I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever is next. And I'm here.
Welcome, love. If you're feeling the pull to remember your power, soften your body, and return to your truth, I invite you into my world of healing arts and transformational coaching. I'm Awa Wild, intuitive guide, energy medicine woman, and creator of Sensuous Revival Healing Arts. I help individuals and couples release old patterns, dissolve shame, reconnect with pleasure, and rise into a more liberated life. Through sacred pelvic healing, somatic practices, intuitive body talk, and emotional integration, you'll learn to listen to your body, trust your intuition, and create relationships that feel nourishing and aligned. Whether you work with me one-on-one, join a retreat, or step into my online program, you'll receive an experience of deep presence, compassionate guidance, and practices that create lasting change. If your soul is ready for more freedom, more pleasure, and deeper truth, I'm here. Learn more at sensuousrevival.com or reach out directly to begin your journey. What do you like? What do you attribute that to? Like, part of me is like, yeah, it's interesting to get some information when you're coming out of a procedure, and there may be some senses dulled from medication,
Totally.
right?
Still loopy.
And I want to say, like, that may be really beneficial for people to be receiving a diagnosis, right? So there's that thought, but beyond that, do you attribute your ability to be in that mental state to anything specifically?
Yeah, I have had all of my life people coming in and out of my home where my father and my mother have healed them or helped them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people who have gotten better and still didn't want to live.
Mm.
And I've seen people get better and live a long time.
Yeah.
And I've seen people stay stuck. So I really felt like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand the mentality, the mentality I have around it. It's really to do with my spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And just how I've meditated since I was in the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I really have like a really strong connection with myself.
Mm-hmm.
That honestly, a lot of what all this stuff that has been going on is because which we purposefully do. Like, no, it's part of being human. It's like I got kind of detached from myself.
Yeah.
And so in a way, it was kind of like, oh, there I am.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am. Okay. And then it was like the real authentic version of myself really, really kicked in.
Yeah. I love that because, I mean, you'd mentioned Jesus earlier, and it's kind of like the idea in the religious aspect of being kicked out of the garden, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, shit, I've got kicked out of the garden. Now I've got to figure this out for me. And the garden wasn't the special thing. I was the special thing. I just happened to be in the garden. So that specialness follows me. I just got to find a different way to listen and look for it because it's not blatantly right in front of me anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And so like that's, these beautiful fucking gifts that happen in the most obscure ways. And yeah, we could be a victim of the gift. And like you said, witnessing these different mentalities of people entering and leaving your parents' house over the years, you've seen a very good representation of healthy ways to handle really strong news and unhealthy ways. And it doesn't, it's not like a wag the finger. Oh, no. Because I mean, anybody that gets a cancer diagnosis or any dramatic diagnosis about their own health, it's gonna
devastating.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You're gonna get hit with it, and just to y'all's point you made earlier, I think you might be onto something about this whole anesthesia, like getting rough noon as anesthesia. You know, oh hey, by the way, your dog's dead.
First.
Okay, cool. Let's go get a fucking go to the puppy pound.
Right.
But but having those representations, like it's like a mental workout, right? Our body and our brain sees and absorbs all this stuff, and it's like, okay, like again, whether or not you're openly aware of it, your subconscious is like, cool, okay, so there is a healthy way to receive really strong information, and there's a healthy way for me to proceed with that strong information to be the best person I can with that strong information. I mean, that's shit that you can't really plan to teach. That's absorption just by consumption, right? You're just by proxy there. So by osmosis, you're learning that stuff. That's a beautiful, hard gift. That's a big hard gift.
And honestly, like, I mean, I mean, I was scared to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely was. I definitely had, you know, one. So I had, like, at the end of the last 3 procedures, I mean, that was that I went through was like really, really intense. Again, the nurses, I mean, just like, you know, I'm like their baby.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, it's going to be okay. This is what, you know, the whole way they just like talk about it is just incredible.
Yeah.
I'm just so in awe. And the fact that I didn't feel anything, and like, you know, I had an epidural, you know, and the nurse was like, you didn't even jump. And I was like, you know, the power of prayer.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was walking around, and my mom too, we felt like we walked around in bubbles. Like, we were just so protected, and just like, you know, just, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
so you went, you had the quote unquote surgery, more explorative kind of figure out what we can do. And then from that, they came out and said, okay, hey, so sorry, Jordan, you've got cancer. So we found cancer in there.
Yeah.
What was the diagnosis? Was it like, what was there a stage? Was there a part in the body where it manifested? Like, what did they tell you, like where the cancer was, all that?
Yeah. So at that point, all I knew is that I had possibly a cancer that was caused by HPV, and it looked like it was on my cervix.
Okay.
And it looked like, from what they were saying, it seemed like it was too big to operate on. That's all I knew.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I knew. So a week later, I think it's really hard to think about the dates of where things were, but I know it was in March, you know, it was somewhere in March, you know, and so I had an appointment to go into, so they transferred me from UW to Fred Hutch. And the UW doctors were just like, I mean, you know, you just get really attached.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're really great. Please, like, be a part of my story. I love you, you know? And they were like, hey, I know you love me, but there's more people to love. And these nurses and these people that work at Fred Hutch, you're going to love them just as much. And I was like, okay, I trust you. Okay, I trust. And they were right.
Yeah, good.
Fred Hutch was like literally like the most incredible place. Like for me, like, even in also coming from an Eastern medicine background, we always think that like they're not going to be into the things I'm into, and like they're going to think I'm weird, but they were so accepting. They were so accepting of like you know, all of the vitamins I take, and
That's
like
great.
You know, all the weird things that herbs, and they don't know what they are. So accepting of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That's so supportive. I mean, my mom battled cancer a number of years ago, and just to speak to that, like the nurses, like you mentioned, were the most amazing folks. But what we saw, and this is down in Texas, what we saw was a separation of the nurses and the doctors. The doctors would come in with their clipboards and be like, okay, chemotherapy, and then all Western, barely knew my mom's name, all this shit. As soon as the doctor would leave, we'd get a nurse pull us aside and be like, hey, have you tried turkey tail mushrooms? You should maybe try some chaga, and here's some other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, fucking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ivermectin was one of the things that they offered. They offered as a helpfulness also. So it's
Yeah.
just like shit like that, where it's like the doctors were like Western, 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 and then the nurses were
Yeah.
like, by the way, there's also these other options. It's like, oh, fucking
Right.
Yeah.
great, let's try that shit,
Yeah.
And honestly, it's so interesting because like the doctor thing, I don't even know if I even really, I wouldn't even, the way that Fred Hutch works is that I wouldn't even know necessarily uh, specifically who was the doctor and who was the nurse because they have such a balanced
Wow.
relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really special. Like, yeah, they are really seriously incredible. I mean, probably the scariest thing that had happened with like the scariest thing about all of the things that I had to do was getting
The
the
port.
needles in my arm for what is that called? It's
Is it the
called
port?
I didn't get the it's the so they don't do an IV.
Yeah.
An
Oh,
IV.
gotcha.
Yeah, the IVs were I honestly I had to get them so often and they were so because you have to get an IV to get a fusion
Hmm.
of for chemo
Yeah.
and those were really hard. I have like really little veins, you can't even see them.
Yeah.
So like and so it was not and like that's beautiful, right? Like we like that. We like that having like it's like nice and
Yeah.
but not in that world.
Not when you need them.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like really, really, really hard. It really sucked. But again, the angels came through and just like took really good care of me and just, like I made friends for life or people that I think of like nurses that I think of all the time and like, hey, like, thank you,
Yeah.
special experiences. Yes.
That's such a cool thing. I have those similar things where there's people, and I just wonder if those people feel something whenever we do throw up that little thanks to them, right? It's not like I
Yeah.
expect somebody to, but just
Yeah.
those nurses, those doctors, the cab drivers, the whatever, right? The people that
Yeah.
just have an impact in your life in some way.
Yeah.
When you start to think about them, I wonder if they just get like a nice little like, oh, that's nice. I wonder what that is,
Yeah.
Or
like.
ringing in the ear.
Yeah, a little something, a little tip of the hat.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
there's so many of these little angels that don't even know the impact that they had in our lives. And probably, I mean, for the most part, God bless them, these nurses probably have no recollection of anybody either because they have
Yeah.
so many people they have to deal with. But it's
Yeah.
just like, it's also comforting to know that that's just a universal way they show up.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter your age, your race, your wealth, any income. And hey, you need help. I'm there to help you. You need advice. I'm here to give
Yeah.
you advice. You need space held. Guess what? I'm going to do the space holding too. Right. And it's just like, that's
Yeah.
just how they show up. And that's just like, that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. In a really sterile environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like so wild. Like it's just like I can't imagine. But they do it every day and they love
Hmm.
it. And it's just like it's white walls but they are also there for the healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing they say at Fred Hutch is like we are a place for compassion and healing. And it's like signs on the wall. And you really feel that with them. You really feel you're in that space. So yeah, so then I went and I got the diagnosis. A week later, they met me at Fred Hutch. That was my first time being there. The night before I got my diagnosis, I found out that somebody I loved really close to me had passed. And it was so wild because I was like, of course you make this about you. That's like,
Yeah.
and it
I
was
can't
so
even have my cancer diagnosis. What the fuck, man?
I was like, and like that was the energy I kept with me the whole time. I felt that human, like I felt them like that being like transition and like come and help, like be on my team. I felt that. I felt that, that's the thing about life. Like that is like, it's not, we don't know how long we're going to be here. We don't know exactly what, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And that really was a really big lesson to me. It was like a really big like moment. So when I went into the room to find out that I had cancer, like I was so in this other world too, because I was mourning, I was in my emotions, I was feeling things like it wasn't really a big deal. Like it wasn't heavy,
Yeah.
it was like really super heavy.
I did
And
hear I did hear one time, since you mentioned your friend passing away or the person passing away. I can't remember where or when I heard this, but it stuck with me very deeply. But there's a certain amount of help that our corporeal form, like our human form, can give another human. And then there's the times where our soul has made this agreement to be like, hey, no matter what happens, I'm here to help you, whether that's on this side or the other side. And so
yep,
sometimes we give enough help on this side, and we know that we've got to tip the hat on this earth and say, hey, you need more help than I can give, and I can give that help, but it's going to be from that other side of the veil. And so I'm
yep,
going to bow out gracefully and say my goodbyes to everybody that needs it, and then I'm going to go help you on this ethereal side.
yep,
And that's, I mean, it's so painful and hard to think about, but in
yeah,
the idea of like reincarnation, like we're kind of signing up for it, and I'm
yeah,
not saying that reincarnation is the way, but it's a thing that I really love the ideas around. And
yeah,
so just if I have any inkling of wanting to believe in something like reincarnation, then I have to also believe that there's bigger ideas that these four lobes in this fucking little brain inside of my head can handle. And then
yeah,
that's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, Jordan's really important to me. So when she gets in trouble, I'm gonna say goodbye and sorry about this human life, but I'm gonna be on that other spirit side. I'm gonna help the fuck out of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we signed up. I in my spiritual practice, I really do believe that we're up in the universe in the galactic world, and we're sitting on a planet, and we're like, you want to play the dad this time? You
All
want to play
right.
the mom this time? You know?
I
Yeah.
want to be the daughter. What the
Yeah,
hell,
I
yeah,
want
man?
to be the dog. Fuck that.
yeah,
I don't know about anybody
yes,
else, but my dog has the life.
I know, right?
Like I think
yes,
about that. Like and I will say, right, people will say like, "Oh, when I die, I want to be a dog," or "I die, I want to be a bird." You better be specific. Like, do you want to be a penguin? Do you want
yeah,
to be a peacock?
yeah,
Do you want to be a pigeon at the stadium?
yeah,
Like it's not all equal,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
good
when I
call,
say I
good
yeah,
want to
call.
be a dog, I want to be a doodle in a middle-aged white woman's house who lets her sleep in her bed and feeds her treats. You know, mostly
Fuck,
joking
sign me
about
up for
the
that right now. Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
That sounds
I'll become a
pets
furry for that. I
me.
mean,
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
So
that sounds good.
I really love your ability throughout this process to be able to speak to the positive mindset that you were able to carry out through this experience. And I know that when we bumped into each other at Soul Food, shout out Soul Food,
hey,
I hadn't seen you in a long time, but I also had sensed that some epic things had really gone on in your life. And so it was such a beautiful moment to catch up and give you a hug and be like, what's going on? And you're like, I just got cleared of my cancer diagnosis, right? Like you had just
Yeah,
done a check-in or checkup and I was like, holy shit. Right.
yeah,
And I love that you can attribute it to, the fact that you've been meditating since you're in the womb and you've had these parents who it sounds like have been really incredible pillars. And then the ability to see like these angels throughout even these really tragic experiences. And I'm curious, was there a time where you like hit the floor and collapsed and shit was really scary and really painful? And what was that like for you? Where was your head at that place and how did you move through that?
yeah, yeah. I think that I think I was always scared. Every day was an unknown day. And I really felt that. I really didn't know my like actual clear screening of no cancer. The scan looks great. I just got like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
oh
So
wow,
I've had, yeah, like a month ago. Yeah. So I've been basically like always been showing up. So I've always I've always felt that and like known. So it's kind of there, but I like, it's like I'm my own therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I just like talk with myself about it. Like, it's like, well, if this is happening, this is what we can do now. This is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to go,
Mm-hmm.
live it up, girl. Like live it up.
Yeah.
And but I did hit the one night I woke up in the middle of the night and it was just before I was going to get up for one of my last treatments. They're like radiology treatments where I'm in stirrups for 7 hours. It's really intense and I
Yeah.
have an epidural and they do this procedure. Um I woke up and I was shitless scared.
Mm.
Absolutely terrified, scared. And I felt like something was laying on my chest and I could not get up. And it was just like all encompassing. And I could see like all of this stuff in front of me. Like it was like energetic stuff.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I could see it like floating around and it was like this heavy energy, like just like weighing on me. And I had to really, it was like I was dying,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I really had to take a moment with that. And I did. I just like, I had to sit with it and give it the love and the attention it needed. And I felt it start to leave my presence, my aura, my being. Like,
Yeah.
and it was me scared.
Mm-hmm.
It was the negative ego
Mm-hmm.
of this, what if, like, oh my gosh, which was what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to take care of you, and this is some pretty intense stuff. They didn't sign up for this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to deal with it, and I just kind of, yeah, I just had to back myself in meditation. I got really into, I'm a kind of a routine gal when it comes to like my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really into listening to Louise Hay.
Yeah.
And I listened to her morning meditation and her night meditation like on repeat.
Yeah.
I was just like, because like you give love, that whole giving love out and like seeing the places you're going and giving love to the places you're going. And like
Mm.
all of that stuff was just incredibly healing and just it made my mind and my body just relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, and then I will say the other time, this is so funny that I mean, it's funny to me, but the other time where I was really, really scared, I felt that sense of scared was when they were giving my last diagnosis, because the doctors they're very like logical and like this is why this is lighting up, this is why this is lighting up, and then if you look here, nothing is lighting up, it's all gray. And I didn't know that this was really good news.
Oh.
Right, like you just
Like, why
don't
isn't there
like,
gray?
yeah, there's no enthusiasm. And my sweet doctor, she was basically like, it's amazing that you do, like, it terrifies me to think of doing improv. We're just from such different worlds. Like, I could never do that. I'm like, yes, you could. You'd be so good at it. She does improv every day,
Right.
like figuring out how to help people, and
Good point.
yeah, it's you got a spontaneous way of thinking, but that was actually a moment where I also felt like all of that. I really kind of held myself together while I was going through, because like my mom and my dad, like, it was really intense to be like with my parents because they were like immediately like, come home,
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
will take care of you.
Are you an
And
only child?
huh?
Are you an only child?
I I am and I'm not.
Yeah.
So my siblings are like 11 years older than me, 15 years older than me, 9 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and so that plays, and and my mom and dad had like had children from previous marriages, but we are like a big family.
Totally.
I grew up with them and stuff. So, but yeah, everybody's out of the house. My sister lives in New York now, and she was actually dealing with she was overcoming Lyme disease. So we were like going at it together. Like
Yeah.
we were just like, having this like experience together. But yeah, so I had a sense of, but anything is okay with in my family. Like, um, my mom and my dad are so here for it. They are so here for the healing process. They are really people who really wanted to have a child,
Hmm.
and they really showed up for me
Yeah.
and just there for me in any way, shape, or form. They are both from families where they got out of situations, specifically with alcohol.
Hmm.
And my dad, a bit of drugs, and they became sober and met each other. And I was their baby.
Yeah.
I was their little love baby,
Hmm.
And so, yeah, so I come and you know, I, I really, I really for a long time kind of like felt ashamed and guilty for being so loved by my parents.
Hmm.
And I felt like I needed to like break out of it and be in like I wanted to experience life because I had such a cocoon, and my parents were all for it. They were like, go for it, girl. Like go do your thing. Go live your
Which
life.
even just
You
shows them how
know?
much they love you, because it's like, yeah, walk away from our love, know that our love is always going to be here to come back to.
Right.
It's all
Yes.
that's so amazing. Good
Yes.
for them. That's
And I
fantastic.
think that
Yeah.
that's such a testament too of how we, I guess we could say as a society, how sad it is that we can't just feel proud and be grateful for that kind of privilege. It is not common,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
why like I've continued to ask those kinds of questions about what was the support like for you, or like what you would attribute your positivity, because like I know Adam and I are older than you, but like we didn't fucking grow up with that shit.
Yeah.
Like
No, walk it off
Yeah.
mentality.
walk it off. Yep, rub some dirt in it. I'll give you something to cry for, kind of thing, right? So,
Oh gosh.
oh
yeah.
yeah. So to hear the possibility of what it's like for a human being to go through something that is so incredibly tragic, having that kind of support, like I just want to like shout about the testament to that, right? And it's like when I think about people like Louise Hay and Joe Dispenza and like these people who talk about mental states, like Joe rebuilt his spine through meditation, right? Like
Yeah.
if there's not something, people get really mad. And I probably have been one of them at some point when they say like, "Oh, that's just in your head."
Mm.
Well, yeah, it's all in our head.
That's
And if we can get our head right, then our experience of tragedy and devastation and trauma is very, very different. And so, the ability to wake up in the middle of the night and be sitting with the invitation of death on your chest, and to know that you're gonna fucking bring it in closer and be with it, like, bravo, Jordan. That's the fucking work. And I
you.
think that that is something that could be talked about or should be talked about. I think, we all have our communities, and I think it's a more common thing. But for anybody who's listening who doesn't know that this is an option, like, maybe I shouldn't ask this, but I will because I ask weird questions anyway. How old are you?
I'm 36.
36.
Yeah.
So for people that are 26, 16, 46, 76, if they've never been introduced to the idea of the power of the mind and the power of prayer, which I've heard you talk about,
Yeah.
like this is so important. And if you don't have the capacity and you're not resourced enough yet to be able to do that by yourself, know that there are people who will pull you from your car and sit you on a rock and hold you after you've been in an accident, right? You don't have to know their names. You don't have to know their stories. You don't have to share religious beliefs. Like,
Yeah.
there are really things happening all of the time in our favor. And I think
Yeah.
it's a beautiful part of the story that you got to a place where you're like, I'm going to break away from this loving environment and go
Yeah.
live it up.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's also the beauty and the lessons of fumbling through life
Yeah.
without those, support systems, to be able
Yeah.
to see like, who am I without this? And to
Yeah.
know like, oh, it's a choice. I can come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think really, really what you're talking about is miracles.
Yeah.
And honestly, like every day is a miracle. We can walk through wondrous miracles all day long.
Yeah.
And the thing is like shame and guilt are just like put on us as society, and like, so it's hard to sometimes be able to go and see those and allow for those because our brain is totally gonna see what we want it to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these eyes are just eyes. The brain is really what's allowing for us to see. So, if you're feeling like, I really looked at my tumor as like what I saw it as is I saw it as my friend. And I saw it, and when I would close my eyes and I would meditate and look at it, it looked like a crystalline that was
Mm.
hanging from a cave. And I would talk to it and I would tell it that I could see that it had the potential of being a star. And I would say that I thank you. I have learned so much from you. Thank you for all you've taught me. And I would say, you can go back home now.
Mm.
And
That's
I saw when I was in Mount Shasta and I was by a fire and I was doing some firework, I saw when I started talking to my tumor, the the fire started sparking.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
was like, exactly. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
go back. Thank you for stopping in on my life and this journey that I decided that I was gonna experience this.
yeah.
And this was going to be the beginning of my new life.
Mm.
And I truly am a different person than I was before this experience.
Yeah.
I never really held my, never, I kind of always was like bashfully, like, yeah, like, and I felt kind of like ashamed. I had to work through that. And it was like, you know, no, I deserve to be here. I
Yeah.
belong here. I'm part of this world. I have great work to share with people, and people have great work to share with me.
Yeah.
And it just took me to another level.
Well, what a beautiful way to embrace a part of our body that feels like it's been separated. And that's basically
Mm,
what cancer is. Cancer is a cell that feels like it's on its own. So it's like, well, God, I got to do all the things now. And so it starts siphoning from the rest of the body, not knowing that it's doing that to help. It just wants to help. It's like, hey, I'm part of you and now I'm
yeah,
not, but how do I get back?
yeah,
And like, so, hey, friend, hey, I see that you've separated yourself from
yeah,
us. So how do I
yeah,
draw you back in instead of this whole like moniker of like fuck cancer, beat cancer, cancer is
yeah,
fucking the
yeah,
devil, da 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 da.
yeah,
That's worsening. It's like no, I'm part of you. Why don't you see that
yeah,
I'm part of you?
yeah,
And so it's changing the relationship with it and allowing it to say like, hey, I see that you've separated, but there's all these friends here that are waiting for you. Dr.
yeah.
Zach Bush actually has this beautiful metaphor about cancer. Zach Bush, if you have never heard of him, he's an amazing
Love Zach Bush.
speaker. He's an oncologist, birthing doctor, and he does a lot of stuff with like microbiome of soils and stuff, right? But he
Yeah.
talks about this metaphor of cancer in humans, and he said the first human being that said, "This is my land," and put a fence up around it that was the start of cancer, because it's basically like saying, hey, I'm separating myself from you.
Yep.
You can't come onto my property, and now I'm going to build everything that I need. So I'm stealing resources from everybody over here, food, gas, water, because I need to make sure that this area is taken care of. I don't fucking care about y'all anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's really telling of kind of where we are with the scarcity of resources. Like we have the ability as a world to stop world hunger, give everybody clean water and food and shelter and internet access and all that stuff, but we choose not to because we make more money off of the individual makes more money off of it instead of the society being helped by it. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
We were
Yeah.
just talking about this. So my husband had a procedure yesterday. And walking into the hospital, there's a Starbucks sign with whatever neon colored summer crazy unicorn version beverage that they're giving. And I'm like, God, if this isn't a testament, right? And it's just like in the nursing homes where they're giving them like Jello and Ensure and these chemical ridden products that are so highly processed. And my husband was saying like there's a test that men can have done that's really inexpensive to basically verify your vascular system is really healthy. I was halfway listening because I was really stressed out as he was talking.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Fair.
not sorry.
Yeah. It's fair.
But we were talking about, which I know Zach talks about as well, is it's not a healthcare system, right? They profit so much from
Yeah.
not helping or waiting until it's too late. And I think about, that story or that analogy that Zach Bush was talking about. It's all of what you were just talking about, and then it's the way in which we defend that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that you thanked it. I'm curious, in the gratitude that you had with the tumor, are there any like bullet points specifically that you were like, this is what I really was taught by this experience? I know you've shared some of it a bit, but like, what specifically do you feel like you were able to take away that were really, really beautiful lessons for you?
That today, after today and forever, life is going to be really good.
There
That's
you go.
it.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Simple. Doesn't need to be
Let-
done.
let's-
Don't need to
let's do this.
complicate it.
Yeah. Let's just do this. Let's live it up. Let's
Yeah.
live this life. I mean, it is, and yeah, I mean, I come from I really truly believe life is a game, like not a game, like a bad game, like
Yeah.
like it's just, it's like a playground, like
Yeah.
playful,
Shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoots and
Yeah.
ladders. And I'm here for it. I'm really here
Hopscotch.
for it. And yeah, I'm really grateful that I got purposefully lost. I got a lot of things out of my system and I needed to experience a lot of things and I did it.
Yeah.
And, now on the other side, I've grown up. I don't have I let go of, I was like, I had smoked cigarettes and like, it was so hard to stop that, like so hard. And, I like, it was in denial about it, like before, and then when I got diagnosed and they showed my lungs at one point, cause they're like, oh, we see these like little things in here. And I mean, of course, like that's, you, unconsciously when you're smoking cigarettes, you're like, yeah, I could get lung cancer, whatever, but like when you actually see it, I was like, to my higher self, I was like, hey, if I can live through this and not have that, I promise you I'll never smoke again.
Yeah.
And I definitely gonna hold that one.
Good
Like
for you.
it's thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned
yeah.
higher self, and you've talked a lot about spirituality, and you've talked a lot about like it seems like you have a good meditating since you're in the womb. I mean, I've been meditating for 15 years, and I know the impact that that's had on me. I can imagine like adding another 30 years on top of that.
Right.
So can you just like kind of zoom out and look at your journey from the moment where you recognize that your bleeding was a little different to the moment you were in the stirrups and having the procedures and the surgeries and all that stuff? Do you feel like your like higher self or your angels or somebody was just like, hey, Jordan, just so you know, hey, this might be a thing. hey,
Yeah.
this might be something to look at, like these,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know the language to listen for, right? It's just
Yeah.
like you're speaking angelic, which could be like whistles and clicks, and all I know is fucking English, so like
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I see these things happening around me.
Yeah.
And hindsight is one of the most beautiful things. We can put a lot of information together to make something in the past make sense.
Yeah.
So have you sat with that and like kind of seen
Yeah.
some of those ideas that might have come up?
Oh, I love this. I love this. Yeah, I have gone on some mushroom journeys.
Hmm.
I've done it the Terrence McKinnon way. Like 10 milligrams of mushrooms,
There you
blindfolded,
go.
in bed,
Yep.
lay there, trip it out.
Yep.
And the first time I did that, is when I met my higher self.
Mm.
And it was so cool and so amazing. Like I did not want to come back.
Yeah.
I never
Like I
want to come
wanted to
back.
stay there. And that was really emotional because I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, now I understand that I've separated." It was kind of like it was like we were the same person,
Mm.
the same, but like one of us stayed back and the other one went and adventured, and we're gonna work together.
Mm.
Yeah. So for me, I've had a relationship with with my higher self since like, it's not been too long. It's been like maybe like 4 years.
Okay.
And, just immediately like times in my life, I'm like, oh, like, I just like, I can hear it comes through and
Mm.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, I see. I see. I just can tell when I just pick up on it. It's like I just know something is it's a feeling. It's more of like kind of like a let's get in touch with this right now. Kind of
Hmm.
like I don't know. It's just
A
a
gnosis.
yeah, it's like a gnosis and
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that also really helped me a lot. I will say, like, I'm definitely a big advocate of plant medicine, and I had already decided that I wasn't going to have children.
Hmm.
Like when I was like a young little lass, like my dad was like, "Yeah, you said you didn't want to have kids." And
Mhm.
I was like, I did? I was like, I didn't and that is probably the coolest thing about my parents. There was a part of me that thought that like I was gonna have kids because of that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like eventually I was like I needed to be a mom. And like I really wanted to make sure and I just kept it to myself, but I was like, I think my mom and dad would like to be grandparents. Like we're kind of cool people. Let's pass it on, you know?
Yeah.
And the big thing is like when I went to go get when they told me that I wasn't going to be able to have children once I went through radiology, it was like immediately like, oh, I've had this process. I've had this conversation. I know this with myself. That's okay.
Mhm.
When I did a mushroom journey, it kept coming up.
Mm.
And so I actually spend a lot of time like with my body and with my womb and like just talking to it and just like having that like peace basically.
Yeah.
And my parents were my dad was like, "We just want you."
Mm.
Yeah.
I was like
That's so sweet.
"Okay,
Yeah.
wow. All right. Let's
Yeah.
go."
You
You
talk
know, like
very, very lovingly about your parents. It's such a like from the support that they've given you as a family member, but also it seems like the support they've given you as the practitioners in the healing world that they're in.
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about like the maybe like a combination of like, okay, so Western medicine gave me this, and then Dad gave me this, and
Yeah.
I felt like there's a good partnership between this version of Western medicine from Fred Hutch and this, this Eastern medicine that my dad's been practicing in all his life, and found this nice marriage between the two. Because a lot of times, like it's an all or nothing that I talk to people about, and then it's
Yeah.
like, well, if my guts are hanging out, don't take me to a naturopath, take me to a surgeon.
Right.
I need some Western medicine
Right.
to sew me back up. But if
Yeah.
my knee hurts and I can't sleep, I might go to a naturopath first, right? I mean, I don't need to
That's
just
cool.
dive right into a doctor, right? Or like a
Yeah.
Western doctor, I should say. So yeah, was there like that? Did you find like a happy medium of like, oh, I really like this Western approach with Dad's Eastern approach or Mom's Eastern, whatever?
Yeah.
Like were there things that worked for you?
Yeah. So my dad, he specifically is a doctor of Chinese medicine, and he actually went to China to work in hospitals with people who had cancer.
Mm,
Wow.
He actually worked with some herbs for neuropathy as well.
nice.
That was actually a focus, like oncology was a focus of my dad's practice.
Wow.
So I know, so interesting how all of that goes. You know, we're up in the planet. I'm just kind of kidding, but I'm not at the same time. We're up on those planets. And I'm like, hey, Dad, like you be dad this time. You know, you do the oncology, and I'll get cancer, and you'll help me.
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So basically, radiology caused my neck to seize up really bad.
Mm.
It was actually excruciating.
Yeah.
When you say
And
radiology, I just want to clarify. You're talking about radiation. Is that the
yeah, they call it radiology
they do?
now. But
Okay.
apparently at the hospital I went to, that's what they call it. That's what they called it. I think it sounds more like the study
It
of,
sounds
Yeah,
less like it is.
yeah, like
yeah,
biology or yeah, totally.
Yeah, okay. I just
it's
wanted
a
to make
little,
sure that
yeah,
I knew what you were saying when you said
yeah,
that because I've heard it referred to as radiation. But okay, so now the modern term, at least in this area, is
right
radiology.
touch.
Got it.
They call it radiology. Yeah.
Okay.
So my neck seized up. My dad, on a Saturday, he like takes me and he gives me needles into my neck, and he just like basically, um, he heals the whole situation. I mean, I'm just like completely okay.
Wow.
You know, I'm like sore, but I'm okay. Yeah. So, and then, do you guys know Evil Bone Water?
I
What
don't
is
think
it?
so.
Evil Bone Water.
No, tell me more.
It's this like it's like a tonic, a mix of herbs, and you can put it on the skin, and it's kind of like Tiger's Balm.
Hmm.
Okay.
And so, do you guys know what moxibustion is?
I've heard
Yeah,
of that,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so it's mugworts and it's all condensed together. Yeah, so basically like when I got hurt like that, my dad and my mom decided that like I needed to do some like moxibustion. So basically like they would take this hot moxibustion and stick it on my neck,
Mm-hmm.
and they would put evil bone water on me. I take like Epsom salts baths, and just like, you know, so I don't take I'm not taking any of these painkillers.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm in it. I'm feeling my emotions. I'm not numbing it out, you
Right,
know. It's like
right.
I'm going through it. And so yeah, so that was a really incredible thing. And then we did gua sha.
Hmm.
Yep.
So just moving the energy down the neck, and it took a little bit more time than if I would have just like popped a pill,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm back.
Yeah.
And that was really incredible experience. And like we just did it basically like all day.
Yeah.
My mom would just help me on Saturday. We were just like, let's get you better from this.
Well,
Like
there's
you
such a
feel
like
your
there's the
body.
medicine itself, and then
Yeah.
there's like the connection of the human being that's administering the medicine. Like you said, it's like I could just pop this pill, not think about it. And
Yeah.
to the point you made earlier, yeah, it might have taken a little bit longer with the non-Western version of the remedy you just talked about, but
Yeah.
also you're not dealing with the potential addiction, the mental unclarity that painkillers give us. Because
Yeah.
a lot of what it seems like a common theme through the story that you're sharing is you being very present with your emotional state, and not like this, Pollyanna shit, but just like, hey, yeah, I'm going to be positive, but I'm also going to be aware when I feel scared. And, if we
Yeah.
get in our heads and we start taking, Percocets or fentanyls or things like that that are prescribed to us, that changes the way that we're going to approach that mentally. And that could be a bigger deterrent than, oh, this is going to take a week to rid me of the pain rather than, 3 or 4 sessions with this, Percocet, 3 days with Percocet, and then 3 4 weeks afterwards managing the withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
There's
So it's
that,
just
but there's also like what I give consent to my mind and body when I'm on a medication that blocks me, right?
hmm
And
Yeah.
so the cost of my mind and body and the expense. So that's what I'm hearing you refer to, right?
Totally.
Is like this is going to cost me a day by going the slower route and
Yeah.
by doing this Eastern medicine
Yeah.
versus the Western medicine may feel And again, like I know Adam and I talk about this a lot, like no judgment, no finger wagging here because
Yeah.
like I don't have a mom and a dad that would do that for me.
Right.
So
Right.
like if I got to take the medicine, I got to take the medicine.
Yeah.
I'm lucky at this point if that were to happen and I were to get a cancer diagnosis. I don't have small children, but like
Yeah.
I know there's a woman in our community right now. They just had a baby and her husband got diagnosed with some aggressive cancer.
Right.
And so like there's not always the opportunity to be able to do these other methods. And I do want to put that out there that like there's no shame in having to do it. And I
No.
think it's also important for people to be aware of what it costs. Like
Yeah.
if I'm taking a medication that enables me to get up and go to the grocery store when my body's actually like, no, you need to fucking stay in bed today.
Yeah.
Maybe you ask a neighbor to pick your groceries up. Maybe you ask the local church that you have no part of to do.
Yeah.
Like people don't know that there are these resources out there. It doesn't just
Yeah.
have to be DoorDash, which you're going to pay $70 to get a sack of bread.
Right. Yeah.
But like, I think that there is something that people often don't consider that they will
Yeah.
have to pay tax on later for the quick fix. And so,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that was the funny thing about it was like I was kind of like in the Fred Hutch world. They were like, "You're like an alien." That's literally what the doctor said. They're like, yeah, they're like and of course, I think it's funny for a different reason than she thinks that's funny, right?
Right.
So it's like I kind of am, but
Yeah.
whatever. Because like she's like, we have no documentations of you, like you've never existed, and then it's like, boom, here you are. Yeah, I want to also just say that another thing that was really, and you guys are really saying it too, and is that, when I went, when you go through chemo, they give you anti-nausea medication. And my dad looked at it and he goes, "You're not taking that."
Oh, all right.
And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, you're not. You're not taking that. I'll get you some ginger. We'll take some herbs and it's gonna work." And it did.
Great.
Yeah.
The chemo or the anti-nausea medication that they were giving to me was for people with schizophrenia.
Oh God.
Oh, wow.
So it was a treatment used for that. And my family was like, "No way."
No. I've heard it doesn't even work. Like for people that I've heard that have
yeah.
gone through cancer treatments,
Yeah.
that's why I don't know this, but I will say I think that's why THC became more legal and it started through the lens of the medical,
Yeah.
side of things. Is like people knew that cannabis was helping a lot with nausea and appetite.
Yeah.
Still, right? Like it's still prescribed in that way. But yeah, that's beautiful that your dad was like, "Yeah, no, I got you,
Yeah.
babe."
Yeah. It was actually kind of like because when I got better, I wasn't like in this weird headspace. I was like totally back to being me. And it became more about the vessel, like because the vessel has definitely, this body has gone through quite some stuff, so
Yeah,
because
I actually had a question. So you were talking about your neck seizing up.
yeah,
Did you have any direct treatments on your neck or was it just on your pelvis?
it was just on my pelvis.
Okay. Has there been any connection from you either psychically or through working with any entities, whether in physical
Yeah.
form or not, that have shown you the connection from your neck to your pelvis?
Yeah. Well, immediately I got the whisper that when I was holding on. I was like grasping when I was going through radiology instead of like being present and like, just like relaxing my body. And like, I was like shrugging it up.
Yeah.
And it really caused, it caused some issue. It caused a little bit of issues. I was gonna say something. I really wanted to make sure I said something. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, I lost it.
No
It's
worries.
gone.
It'll come back if it does.
Yeah.
Well, before this, we were talking about the medication and you feeling like you were coming back, like you came back online real quickly because you had taken the time and not used those other types of medications.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's It's such a beautiful thing. So, another weird, funny question. Did the boyfriend who told you to go to the ER last, are you guys still together?
We're still together.
Okay, so
Yes.
he stuck out the treatment, and yeah, that's really precious.
Yeah, that is another thing that is like, yeah, honestly, I do believe, I truly do. Like it's kind of harder for the family than it is for the person that's going through it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I just feel for all of them. Like they, like it's just like, yeah, it was like basically, so, it's like now, however you want to show up for me, I'm here for.
Yeah.
And, and we basically have gotten to rewrite a relationship together as going through something that basically changed my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And I think that I have seen him have some incredible growths and just like, it's like, we just have you become such a teacher because it's like, how are you handling this? How are you going through this? Like, what is the gratitude?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that goes through it, it's like, what is the gratitude that you find in your day? Like, how do you get through this? And, he was always like such a, like he was so supportive of me and my spiritual practices, but he was more supportive to me than anyone has ever been as a significant other. And I've always felt so seen by him. And like, his mom is like Catholic and super, like, she is like so amazing at like prayers and stuff. And like, I don't come from that background,
Yeah.
but like, I felt her when
Mm.
she prayed. Like I honestly, I can feel it even when I talk with her, I'm like, that woman did some incredible things for me. Like
Yeah.
and it's incredible. So for us together, me and my partner, it's really upped both of our lives of like, we're just like stepping up and we both now are like, yeah, I guess, every day is every day and let's go. Like, let's do this.
I love that.
And that doesn't necessarily also, I want to say, mean we have to go fast.
Right.
That doesn't mean, we don't need to actually, and sometimes the teacher is just sitting down, and I have had to learn to do that. It was kind of a thing with me. Like I didn't used to sit down a lot. I was a up and goer kind of gal. And I've really learned to pause. My hormones are different now. I don't have any of the same needs. I don't have the same desires. More so, like my creation of art is now my baby.
Mm.
Mm.
Like that's what I'm going to create and that's what I'm going to share with people. And so, I just, it's really had an influence on this whole experience.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's no, I mean, there's so many ways to approach this stuff, right? And from the folks that I've witnessed, and there's no judgment in this statement because
Right.
big emotions happen when we get faced with big problems.
Yeah.
I've seen people that become that diagnosis. I am cancer now. Fuck. Right. And everything becomes this dark, gloomy. I have cancer. I've got to go get chemo. I'm going to die. I've got to start making my will. Da, da, da. Right. And again, no harm, no foul. Right.
Yeah.
Our humanness is we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But what it sounds like to you is it became just another character in your life to help make your life the best it could be. Hey, now
Yeah.
there's this introduction of this new character that we didn't know that was going to be in our life. And it's if really affecting me, but through affecting me, I see how much it affects everybody else. And so instead of being like, get out of here, new character, we don't understand you, get fucked, it's just like, cool. Now I'm going to manage that character and embrace all the love and the help that has been around me this entire time. And it's been basically training for this moment that we didn't know we were training for, right? To be
Yeah.
the best humans for the people in our lives, to show up the best way we can. And I just can't like applaud the way that you're speaking enough, the emotional presence. And I think that's one of the key things, emotional presence and openness to options, and those are really hard things to do because if you're going through a big diagnosis, you're going to go to the place where you think is the best, and you're just going to do what they tell you to do a lot of times. And if we don't have another, if we don't know we can advocate for ourselves, or we don't have another kind of another narrative coming in, then it's just like, cool, I'm going to do Fred Hutch thing, right? And
Yeah.
no harm, no foul, right? But it's
Yeah.
the emotional presence of yourself through those moments, being able to cry when you need to cry, laugh when you need to laugh, move your body in a chair in yoga, right?
Yeah.
To open to the options of like, hey, here's this surgery thing that could happen, here's this holistic thing that can happen, here's a painkiller, and here's some mugwort, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna do the surgery, I'm gonna fuck off the painkiller, I'm gonna do the mugwort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad said no on the anti-nausea, he's gonna give me some ginger, cool, got it, I got another thing to look at, and it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, cool, all right, it's a balancing act, it's the literal
Yeah.
teeter-totter in motion,
Yeah.
and and again, no harm, no foul, but like when we just say like, this is the way, this is what I'm going to do, this is everything, we're limiting ourselves on the options that we have no idea that are out there, right? And so
Yeah.
like, it's so inspiring. I get so inspired, one, doing podcasts like this, but also just in the work that I do, like with sound healing and Reiki and energy work,
Yes.
just seeing people turn their own fucking corners in whichever way they
Yes.
can. And it's like, okay, perspective wise, and it's never like a me versus anybody else, but
Yes.
people impact the people they impact. And so when
Yeah.
I can have that way of looking at my life and the things that I'm managing versus somebody else that has, in my opinion, a lot more things that they've conquered, it's like, okay, bro, hey,
Yes.
you're okay. You're all right. Go take that challenge. Go have that tough conversation. Go whatever it is, go apply for that job you never thought you could get, because you never really know what the fuck's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of, when you were talking
exactly.
about working in the job to go get the insurance, was that the coverage that you had that took care of your?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Really quickly, I just want to say one of my practices when I would go to the hospital. So I went 5 days a week for about a month and a half. One of my important practices is I had a friend who was into music, like healing and like binaural beats. And when I was driving in the car with my mom and I, we would sing at the top of our lungs because we were letting that go.
Yeah.
We were in our body. We were enjoying life. I would cry. I love The Healing Room. That song is just like, and like and it's just like, because they invoked emotions and allowed for me to express. And that is just, I mean, because after you express and you let yourself feel those things, I always feel better. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that felt really nice. Like, oh, like, or there's still something there that you're going for. So yeah, music and laughter. My mom and I and my dad, every night we watched Malcolm in the Middle.
Great.
That was our thing because I wanted to laugh. I liked to watch I did not watch any news. Like my world became very small because I needed to. I had stage 3 cancer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my world was here, like inside.
Yeah, you don't
So
need to worry about overseas. It's like, nope, I'm
yeah.
internal right now. We'll get over there later.
Yeah, and so we watched Malcolm in the Middle, and like Bryan Cranston cannot not make me laugh, and whales. I loved to watch whales. I would watch all the whale documentaries on National Geographic, and that was kind of my life.
Yeah.
And I did yoga, and we would meditate, and I would do qigong, and like I just like, and I ate really well. I made sure that I like, because you were talking about that whole Starbucks thing, like,
Yep.
oh my goodness, like, yeah, like when I found out I had cancer, the only thing I knew, I didn't, I mean, I know stuff now, but I really only knew that when you have something like cancer, you need to stop eating sugar.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop eating sugar. So I stopped that. But I was still eating a lot of carbohydrates. And now I know, and I was eating a lot of like fruit and stuff, which was fine. That's good. Like go
Yeah.
for it. Like it's good and stuff. I went to my naturopath and I ended up having a lot of inflammation
Yeah.
chronic inflammation. And I didn't realize it. And I think that a lot of people were walking around, we do not realize that we are in chronic inflammation.
Oh yeah.
I was having like I mean, it was waking me up in the night. I kind of thought it was normal because again, so it's very easy to detach our brains from our vessels,
Hmm.
right? So it was like, oh, well, this is just, oh, the phrase that we love to use as society. We're just getting older,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I went to my naturopath and she was like, you have chronic inflammation showing up on your blood work. And her way of working on that is I went on the carnivore diet.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, and I sleep like a baby. I've done it for a couple of months. I sleep like a baby now. It's still like I'm not so ruthlessly carnivore, but I have like 30 to 50 carbohydrates in the day and like I
Yeah.
feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I eat a huge amount of fat. And because actually fat is so good for our hormones.
Right.
And
Healthy fat.
huh?
The healthy fat.
The health, yeah, and I mean, heavy whipping cream, like, forget about it.
Yep.
Like, leave me with a bottle of heavy, like, I love butter, like, so I mean, and I love to eat meat, so I'm happy. I'm super happy, and it's so interesting. I haven't lost any weight, but I have lost inches off of my body from inflammation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's so interesting that we as a society, instead of educating people on better health ideas, eating habits, things like that, we just make up diagnoses for the the aftermath of like eating too much sugar. Oh,
yeah,
we restless leg syndrome. Oh, you just have restless leg syndrome. Like it's a normal thing. It's like, no, you've eaten too much of this thing and it's fucking up your circulation and it's
yeah,
not allowing your nerves to process properly. That's a
yeah,
you thing. So we can educate you on better ways to take care of your body, not just be like, oh, nope, it's natural. You're getting old, restless leg syndrome, RLS. We'll even put a fucking acronym to it. And then here's a
yeah,
medicine that you
Here's
can take.
another pill.
Here's a
yeah,
treatment. Instead of just
yes,
like saving money and eating better, we're going to charge you more money. You still eat the same shitty fucking food you're eating. And now
yeah,
we're just going to give you something with side effects on top of it.
yeah,
It's like, God damn it. All right.
yeah,
This is like the pinnacle of the what's wrong with the Western medicine. There's
Yeah.
still
yeah,
some good things, but there's a lot of just like, ignore it. Don't change you. Here's another
yeah.
thing that you can just put in your body.
Well, and the education just comes into the school systems.
Right.
It's like we are just not educated as a society about the actual like food pyramid. Like it's completely
Food pyramid
bought
in
and paid
itself.
for.
Yeah.
It's bought and paid for, and we have believed in it a really long time. Actually, like if you look at like our ancestors, they are, that's what they ate. They ate
Hmm.
meat and they ate fat. That's how they survived. That's how they did it. So it's like all this other stuff is just bought and paid for. Like, look what we're eating these days. I mean, cereal. Wow. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah. So anyways, for me, it worked out really well to do that. But yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of an intense because we get addicted to our food.
Yeah.
So it's like we get grumpy, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then the thing that we crave when we get grumpy is the thing that's perpetuating all of it, which is exactly how it's supposed to work. But
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that throughout this journey, you have spoken on just different ways that you've continued to deepen your relationship to yourself. And I heard you at one point refer to your body as your vessel. And that's
Yeah.
how I perceive it as well. It's like, I feel like this is the house of God. I have a responsibility to tend to it as my temple. And does that mean that I always do everything perfectly? No, it doesn't. I even told my class the other night, everybody on the left's going to have to speak up louder if you want my attention because when I eat sugar, my left ear clogs. And I did that today. So
Aha.
the other day I was like, I'm going to go ahead and eat 1.5 of these cookies, not just one, but I won't eat 2 because that's too much. So, it happens. But I think that
Thank you for sharing.
thank you. I think in general, I like to tell on myself because, hashtag still human. I think that what has been really beautiful and being able to hear your experience in this journey is what life can look like when you have real, true support and love, and how that interprets to a very different relationship to the voice within our heads. You referred to it as your higher self. I think a lot of people, especially our listeners, probably can relate to that idea too. And the impact that it's had on you to be able to walk through this experience and come out the other side. I felt like when I bumped into you, you felt like a completely different person than who I met like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was something like you didn't even have to say anything. I could just feel that something had shifted. And I loved that, like in our 10-minute conversation that we had at the coffee shop that day, we could talk really deep about things, right? You talked about having the cancer and what you went through and not being able to have kids and what that meant to you. And like the genuity, is that a word?
It could be.
I'm going to make it up.
There you go.
The genuity that I feel in you, which is like how genuine you are as a human being and really honoring yourself, is so inspiring. Just to like start to wrap it up, I want to ask this last question. With everything that you've gone through and experienced, I heard you talk about really investing and being invested in the baby of your art and your creation. Is there anything from this experience that you feel inspired to do? Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel very inspired to be. That's what yes, I did a lot of doing in my last life. So now things fall into place is what I've really have learned, is that things, it may seem like it's taking forever, but just wait a little longer. It's on its way. Everything is on its way. And I remember, one day of going through chemo, and I was like, it was like a Wednesday, and I did it on Monday. And I remember I was staring at my wall, and I remember saying to myself, I was like, when I'm better, I'm going to do stuff that makes people laugh. And I'm going to laugh a lot. There's going to be a lot more laughter in this life, and I'm going to make people laugh. And immediately, right when I started to get better, I actually said an improv group, and now I'm actually in an improv group. Yeah. And I immediately after started working with them, and just in general, because art does heal. It's just, wow, like what a modality.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I really am here to be okay with who I am, because it helps other people to be okay with who they are.
Yeah.
And it's time to say yes. And it's been very clear that I am supposed to do like film, and I'm supposed to make like funny like sketches, and so I'm going down that road. I'm seeing that. I have something with yoga. I definitely want to do some workshops with my dad. And I think that would be, but we haven't really done that. And I'm so supported by Soul Food. Soul Food gives me space for anything I'd like to do there. And like, it's just a big, huge, loving environment for me. And I'm just so grateful for the owner, Lauren, of Soul Food. She's just an amazing human being, and just supports me in my creative endeavors. And so I'm just really excited to see what is next, and I know that I'm a community person, and I know I like to make art with the community, and I like to play. And so I'm just going to see what unfolds, and I'm open to the possibilities.
I love that.
Fantastic. And just for our listeners, so you are cancer-free as of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Jordan, it's been such an honor to talk with you, and just a joy to witness your arc from what you've talked about. And to know that you're going to be, alchemizing this into like positive kind of content, positive affirmations, positive influencing of whatever it is you've gone through. Where can people go to either see what you're doing now, or just in that like fishing line that's out there, like, hey, there's going to be some funny shit coming down the road. Is there somewhere that people can look at or kind of follow you for that stuff?
Yeah, I think the best way is probably my Instagram. So at Kerbs Jordan.
Kerbs.
Yeah,
Yep.
Kerbs Jordan at Kerbs Jordan. I'm always posting on there. Everything goes through there.
Great.
It's a great way. And if anything changes, it's also where I would tell everyone. It's kind of my platform. So yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. Well,
Yay.
Jordan, thank you so much. Very inspiring, and we look forward to having you back and just maybe talking about your improv career after all
Oh
this.
my goodness. Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Thank you so much to you guys. I really appreciate you, Adam and Awa. Like, this is amazing. And yeah, just keep spreading your magic. It's amazing. Thank you
my
so
dear.
much.
All right, we'll chat soon.
Chat soon.
Thank you for listening. Remember to like or subscribe to the podcast on whichever platform you're listening to. And if you found this episode helpful, please comment or share it with a friend. Check out the show notes for links to get in touch with myself, Awa, or our guest. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. This episode was recorded, edited, and produced by Adam Reel.